Okay, so today I'm doing a phonemic awareness lesson on rhyming words for first grade class. This class is a total of 16 regular education students and 4 504 students and 2 special education students. And my objective for my title for this lesson is state a series of rhyming words including consonant blends. And the reason we're doing this lesson is to prepare students to be able to distinguish sounds in spoken words. We want them to be able to read and write efficiently and fluently, and a part of being able to do that is learning how to rhyme words. So, my main standard is ELA 1E1, and let me see. So yesterday we learned the concept of rhyming words. We learned, what a rhyming word is. We learned about rhyming words. We went over a bunch of different rhyming words. And now today we're incorporating doing those rhyming words, but also with consonant blends. So that'll be like truck or brick. Those words like that you can find rhyming words with that are 2 consonants coming together. And tomorrow we will distinguish rhyming words using chants. So today we're going to go over consonant blends. Yesterday we went over rhyming words, and then tomorrow we're going to go over rhyming words with chants and just kind of wrap the whole lesson up all together. And so let's see. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go over a Do They Rhyme song that is found on YouTube. Let me see. It's a song for kids about rhyming words, and it's by Harry Kindergarten Music. So I found I watched it. It was a very good song for rhyming words, and it had a lot of different words that rhyme together. And this will get the kids, focusing on the rhyming words, getting their minds on the rhyming words, like know that this is what we're going to talk about today. So I'm going to go ahead and play that for you. Let me see. Full screen. That's not gonna work. 1 second.
Crab, bag, sail, pail, jar, car,
So that was the video for that. Now, the reason I chose that video is that way I can explain to the class that some words rhyme and some words do not. And you know, the reason for that, and I'm gonna ask the students, you know, to orderly answer what makes a word rhyme, because that, if you remember, I said yesterday we went over what rhyming words were. So they are expected to already know what a rhyming word is, and I'm just wanting them to relay that back to me to kind of review what we went over yesterday. So we did that, and this also gives them a way, you know, during the video they're supposed to do their fingers up or thumbs down, and that helps me look around the room and see which students are understanding what rhyming words are and which students aren't. Because, you know, we're doing it as a whole class, and nobody feels pressured into thinking, you know, I have the right word, so they're just holding up a finger if they think, you know, if they think it's right. So that gives me an opportunity to look around the room and make sure who knows it, who doesn't know it. If the whole class knows it, great. You know, if not, we may have to work on something extra, and we do have extra stuff for those students who need a little bit more remediation. So then after we do that, I did have another video. It is the rhyming word game. It is by Jack Hartman, and he's very, you know, like he's it. Everybody uses Jack Hartman videos because he has really good videos that explain stuff very well, and kids like are drawn to his songs. So this is the rhyming word game. It's a rhyming song for kids. Let me play that for you. And after we do this video, I am going to ask my class a few questions about this video. Just, you know, like another observation, I want to see who's getting it, who's not getting it. I want all the responses. I want them to be able to talk to me and us relate each other to make sure we're both on the same page. So, play this. What time?
Let's play the rhyming words game. Play with me, my friends. Words that rhyme begin with different sounds, but have the same sound at the end. I need 3 words that rhyme. I have 2 already on my mind. When I say a 3rd word that doesn't rhyme, you sit down. When I say a 3rd word that does rhyme, stand up. I'm thinking of these 2 words that rhyme. Bug, hug. Bug, hug, pig. Bug, hug, fox. Bug, hug, rug. Now I'm thinking of these 2 words that rhyme. Cat, hat. Cat, hat, boy. Cat,
that was it for that. And that was also a good way for the students to be able to thumbs up, thumbs down. You know, during that little game he was doing, they can distinguish which words rhymed together, which ones did not, which ones didn't match the actual pair that he was showing. And that also gives me, you know, confirmation which students know and which students don't. So some of the questions that I would have asked my students during that video is, can you name another word that rhymes with ball instead of call or tall? Because that was one of the examples on the thing. And I would expect them to say like fall, wall, or any other word that rhymes. And I would ask that as a whole class, you know, probably, I would want them to orally respond, but like most of the students would probably raise their hand and I would just pick where I would pick sticks. Then my next question would be, can you create your own set of rhyming words? I want the students to not only be able to look at the rhyming words and know which words rhyme and which words don't, but I also want them to be able to think of their own words that they can come up with, that they can think of that might rhyme, that they, like their toys at home or foods or snacks or anything like that, that they can like add to it, that they can put with that, so they can remember in their mind, like, this is a rhyming word, this is what rhyming words are. And I want them to draw their own conclusions of that, and not just words that I've shown them, not just words that I've given them. I want them to think of their own. And okay, and then I'm gonna say, okay class, I'm gonna give you 2 words that rhyme, and you pick a 3rd word that rhymes with them. So I would do like cake. We have cake. That's one of my examples for my other little lesson. I have cake, and a word that rhymes with cake is snake, or rake, or lake, or take. So we have like a lot of different words that rhyme with cake, and I want the students to be able to, you know, think in their head what words rhyme with that, and they can tell me. That's another example of me figuring out if my students are on the same page as me or not. Okay. I've got to hurry up with this. Okay, so I'm already 12 minutes in. This must be a 15-minute lesson, so I'm so sorry. Okay, so our actual thing we're doing is called Rhyme Pie. And this is it right here. The materials I'll use is rhyming picture cards, paper plates, or construction paper, circle, scissors, glue, and markers. And I'm going to allow the students to get in groups of 4. No, sorry. I'm going to provide the students with the picture cards. Where they're at. Okay, these picture cards we cut out and colored them. So we have some different ones here that some of them rhyme. You know, there's a bunch of different cards in here. So the students are going to get to cut out these picture cards, color them. Then we're going to model the activity. I'm going to model the activity to show them what they're doing. And in the activity, I don't have a paper plate. I should have got one, but too late now. So I'm supposed to get a paper plate, and I'm gonna get, you get the rhyme words, they cut them out, and they fit pictures which ones go together. So for this one, we have a nose, we have a rose, and we have a water hose. So all 3 of them will be put on one area of their paper plate, and they're going to circle them because they go together. And so that's how they'll do that. And I'm going to let them actually work on this with a partner and circle it. And after they get through that, I'm going to walk around, go to each partner, make sure they're doing it right, make sure they have the correct answers. You know, and if they don't, I'm going to say, you know, you may want to take it off and re-glue it somewhere else or another group, you know, to make sure they're doing it right. And then to close this lesson, I'm going to allow the students to get in groups of 4, and each group will receive 20 picture cards, and that won't be the same as these. It'll be some right here. It'll be these little cards. I'm going to give each group like 20 cards, and so we have like a bunch of different pictures. Like this is a tree, this is a mop, this is a tail, this is a snail, this is a nail. Like these 3 rhyme. And on the back, it has those 3 words rhymes with whale. So for the activity, I'm going to get the students to put the cards picture up on their desk and go through as a group and put the ones that rhyme together in a group. And I'm going to review that they have matched them correctly, make sure, like, I'm gonna walk around the room, make sure, monitor that they all have done their activities and that's right. And after they're still in the groups of 4, I'm gonna go to the board and I'm gonna say, you know, name another rhyming word that can go with one of your pairs. So they may have nail, and I don't know where those other cards went that I just put. Okay, nail and tail and snail, and another word would be whale, that they could say whale because they don't know that's on the back. They're not gonna flip them over. So they could say whale goes with that, and that's what I'm looking for. I want them to think of another word that goes with the ones that they've already paired up, and then to be able to tell me. And then I'm gonna ask them, why did their pairs rhyme? What makes a nail and a snail rhyme? And I want them to be able to say, you know, the last part of the word rhymes, goes together, you know, it's the same. So we want them to be able to think about stuff, we want them to be able to talk back to us, we want to observe them, make sure that they know we're on the same page. I want to be able to know that they know, I know, we all know. And so that is going to conclude the lesson, is that little group activity that I want them to do. But so after we do the group activity, there is going to be a homework page. I like homework, but like I don't at the same time. Like I'm not gonna probably make my kids do a lot of homework in my class because I just think, you know, you learn at school, you don't really need to go home and worry about it at home. But for this the homework activity, it is a small worksheet that I printed out, and it's got the words are here on the side, and they have to go through the little list that's beside it and circle the words that match. So for like the top one, it's cat, and it's sat, hat, bat, and dot. So they'll circle sat, hat, and bat and leave dot alone. And the ones that they didn't circle, they'll come right. So they'll write dot down here and the other ones that don't match. And I'll take this for grades for homework. And some HOTS questions that I make sure that I'm answering during these lessons is, how do you know when words rhyme? Because I want them to review back to what we learned yesterday. Then I will ask them, how would you recognize a consonant blend rhyming word? I want them to know what rhyming words are. I want them to know nonsense words, just regular rhyming words, and then I want them to know consonant blends rhyming words, because they all go together, they all rhyme, they need to know how to do it. Then what pair of rhyming words would you choose to explain? I would want them to get a pair of rhyming words that they know that they can explain why these two rhymes, why they go the way they do, why are they a pair, why did they pick those two words that they thought was a pair? Why did they do that? And I don't want them to just do it because they think that that's just what you do. I want them to know why we're rhyming words, or what makes words rhyme. So students who need accommodations will be given instructions given in different channels. So written, spoken, demonstration, I'm going to try to help demonstrate different ways, because most students, some students don't learn that way, some students have trouble, or some students can't learn some ways. We have to accommodate them. And I also will present materials in small steps, and I'll large print materials. Some students have trouble reading small print, or they have a problem where they can't focus on little words, in a big group. So we're gonna do that. And then my early finishers are gonna allow to get the Ready to Go rhyming pack, and we'll be able to play the Ready to Go rhyming pack, the game. This is my Ready to Go rhyming pack. It is actually very handy. I borrowed it from a teacher. And let me show you how it works. It's very cool. So we take the same cards they were using, and at this point, I have like 3 sets of these little cards. So in the little game, we have big cards like this too in the front pouch. It holds all of it. So we'll put 2 big things in the front. So if they're an early finisher, or if their group's through, they can get this pouch and they can pass it around, and there'll probably be at least 2 pouches, just in case we have 2 or 3 groups that finish first. So for this pouch, you put the big thing right here, and it says rhymes with cat. So you find the little cards that rhyme with cat, and we have bat, and it has the cat on the back. So they can check themselves after they put them in, after they look through all the pictures, they can check on the back and make sure that this and this do match. So we have bat, we have rat, and we also have a hat. So this is going to be really good for the students to be able to look at their rhyming words and distinguish which ones go together. And if they have any questions, they can always come up to me and ask me if that's right. But this is to be able for them to be able to self-check. They can self-check with this back picture that matches this one. So then we have this one, rhymes with cake. So this is the example I gave earlier. So rhymes with cake, it has a picture on the back. We have snake, we have a rake, and we have a lake. So those all three match and they rhyme. So the early finishers will be able to do this activity. They can do it as a group, which they'll be in the group at the end of closure. So, and even if they're not in a group, they can get the pack and work on it themselves and self-check. And so students who need remediation should use the picture cards to go review rhyming words. So they can use these picture cards that they've cut out and colored themselves that we've used for the activity, or they can use my pouches of pictures, the good ones that are in the pouch. And they can go for these words, they can match them themselves, they can ask me if it's wrong, I can help them work through it. That way they are used to they're repeating, going over rhyming words. Okay. So students who need extra practice can also use the Ready to Go Learning Pack, the rhyming pack. It's a very good tool to use because you self-check, you're getting extra practice with it, you're actually looking at it and you're rhyming words together. Like it's a very good pack to use. So for this assessment, I'm going to do a lot of observation and immediate feedback for my assessment to know that my students are in this lesson, know that my students are on the same page as me. With the thumbs up, thumbs down, I'll know if they're on the same page. With the walking around looking at their group work, making sure that they've done the activity correctly, making sure they've rhymed all the words together right, that actually are pairs. So there's a lot of steps. I'm going to do that. And I also want students to model, like in the activity, they're going to be modeling. So that's another one. Excuse me. That's another one of my observations, my assessments that I'm going to be looking at to make sure the students are on the page. And peer review. I'm going to use peer review a lot. I know they get partners, they get groups. I'm very for that. I think that students, need peer review. I want to know, if they're working well with others, if they're doing right. And sometimes some students just need an extra, like a buddy to help them. And I may not be able to reach every student. That way, when they're in the groups and they're partners, they can help each other and they can assess each other. And I think that's very good. So that's all for my lesson. I know I went over 15 minutes and I'm so sorry, but that was it. So thank you.